Today we'll be revisiting Nacht Der Untoten 5,281 days later. This is a new series that I want to start where we're just going to be going back, playing some of the older zombies maps. I'm probably going to be going in order of release, which means first we'll be playing Nacht Der Untoten, and then Verrückt, and then Shinonuma, and so on. As we play, I might talk about some of my memories with the maps, you know, maybe some of the developmental history behind the maps, just basic but fun stuff like that. Also, I know I could have made the title something simpler, like revisiting Nacht Der Untoten 15 years later, but, you know, I wanted to do something a bit different. Is it weird to say that 5,281 days sounds way shorter than 15 years? Like, sure, 5,281 days isn't a short amount of time by any means. It's just that when I think about waking up 5,281 times, that doesn't seem like that many compared to 15 years. Anyway, mindless ramblings aside, this was the first ever zombies map that I ever played, which is quite fitting considering that this was the first zombies map ever made. I played this back in 2008, and let me just tell you, I've been in love with Call of Duty Zombies ever since. I followed each of the games, each of the new maps that released, and like each of the DLCs inside of each of the games. I love Call of Duty Zombies. I have so much love and nostalgia for this mode, and I assume that you do if you're watching this video right now. So basically, if I could kind of like chronicle my history with zombies, I totally didn't mean for that to be a pun, by the way, with like Zombies Chronicles. So I started with World of War back in 2008, and then after that, I ended up playing the mobile version of the game. If you guys remember that, back in the day, it was like $5 on the App Store, but it came with the maps that released in World of War. And the release schedule for the maps on mobile zombies actually ended up following pretty closely to the console counterparts as well. Like a map would release on console and then would release shortly later on mobile. And if I'm gonna be honest, for a while there, Verrückt was actually my most played and also my favorite zombies map. To this day, when it comes to revisiting World of War, you know, most people revisit World of War to play Doris, you know, camp on the catwalk, get Pack-a-Punch, hang out with their friends, try to get to like round 30 or something like that. But I don't know, I've always been a bit different in that regard. When it comes to revisiting World of War Zombies, I've always just kind of like gravitated towards Verrückt for some reason. Like, that's the map that I'm always replaying. I don't know, there's something about the atmosphere on the map and the challenge of it and like how tight it is. It's just like, it's so intense even on the lower rounds. You never know when a zombie's gonna sneak up on you. You never know when your run's gonna end. Like, it could end in the blink of an eye, even for the most veteran and skilled of zombies players. That's part of why I actually really like Vanguard Zombies, as controversial as that is to say, because, you know, while it's not the hardest zombies game in the world, it's definitely a bit more challenging than something like, say, Black Ops Cold War. Heck, I would say that Vanguard Zombies is actually one of the more challenging modes that we've had in a while, because you think to like Black Ops 3, that one was a bit easier due to the gobblegum mechanics. Black Ops 4, you spawned in with your specialist weapons. Black Ops Cold War, we all know how easy it is to get to high rounds on that game. The only other recent zombies game that I could even say was remotely like challenging to the extent of something, say, like Black Ops 1 or World of War probably would have been World War 2 in 2017. But otherwise, ever since like I'd say 2015 when Black Ops 3 came out, Zombies has definitely gotten a bit easier, and that's not bad by any means. In fact, I actually kind of like how easily you can scale the difficulty in Black Ops 3, because if you want that classic and challenging experience, just don't use gobblegum, stay away from some of the more OP items, and you can have a really challenging experience. Or you can make it a bit easier for yourself and, you know, use those gobblegums, use the OP wonder weapons. Same goes for something like Black Ops 4, you know, you don't have to use the specialist weapons, you don't have to use the OP stuff. If you want to play it basic, and if you want a more challenging experience, you can have that on top of the difficulty levels that the game already provides you with, and then you have mutations on top of that in Black Ops 4. But I don't know, even with all that, I find myself revisiting World of War specifically so often. There's just something about it, you know, it's really basic, yet it's really intense, and it has that like sense of difficulty and just like true horror to it every time you play it. Like, you never know when death is gonna sneak up on you. Granted, World of War Zombies definitely isn't my favorite one. I mean, when it comes to picking my favorite zombies game, that's like picking my favorite child. I truthfully just can't do that. However, when it comes to like nostalgia and bias due to nostalgia, Black Ops 2 is definitely my favorite, which is why I'm hoping that this series can at least last long enough for us to reach Black Ops 2 so that I can make a bunch of videos just gushing about that game. Yeah, I genuinely love World of War. Now, granted, oh, no. Oh, wait. No, that wasn't supposed... Okay, we're gonna restart. That wasn't supposed to happen. See, right now I'm playing without audio, so I didn't even hear that zombie sneak up on me, and by the time that it started hitting me, if you guys know how World of War's mechanics works, if a zombie hits you, you're probably already dead. I don't even know what causes that, but every time that a zombie hits you in this game, they literally just suck you in and you can't move. So if you get hit once, chances are you're gonna die. But anyway, as I was trying to say before, you know, the difficulty thing definitely doesn't apply to all the maps in this game. If you guys know anything about Shinonuma, well, I have two words for you. round 10,000. I'm sure Der would have been no different in terms of like the extreme rounds you could get to in that map if it wasn't for the fact that the zombie cap was removed in that map. So like in Nacht Der Untoten, Verrückt, and Shinonuma, only a max of 24 zombies can spawn per round, which is why high rounds on like Shinonuma specifically is so high, because you have access to the Wonderwaff, and then when you combine that with the fact that it literally only takes like 2 or 3 shots to finish a round, yeah, you can get to around 10,000 like it's nothing on that map. However, on something like Der, it's a bit more challenging because that zombie cap isn't there. So you'll be dealing with literal like hundreds of zombies on that. So even though you have stuff like Pack-a-Punch and the Wonderwaff there to help you, you know, it's still a bit harder to get to those higher rounds just due to how many zombies you'll actually be dealing with. I'm out of bullets, and like I'm trying to save my money for the box, but I think I ought to just buy the carbine. I don't want to risk death again. I can't even tell you the last time that I actually just like bought the carbine off the wall. That's just something I never do. I usually just save up my points and go for the box. Normally I don't ever shoot on round 1 either, but considering the fact that I already had to make you guys sit through 6 very slow rounds, which that's another thing we'll have to talk about in a minute. I was trying to shoot the zombies on round 1, but now I realize I would have been better off just knifing for the sake of points. Yeah, speaking of slow rounds, Nacht Der Untoten is so unbearably slow at times, okay? On any other map, you can probably get to round 10 and, oh, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes tops. But in Nacht Der Untoten, I kid you not, it is taking me upwards of like 20 to 25 minutes just to get to round 10. Like, it may not sound that big of a difference, like, you know, it's only like 5 or 10 minutes, but trust me, when you're playing zombies, that time adds up very, very quick, and it never gets any faster, because when the zombies are approaching you from their spawn, see, like, sure, seeing them come in from the fog in the forest and seeing them, like, slowly fade into view, it adds to the atmosphere, it adds to the horror, but there's one very important thing that it takes away from, and it's the pace overall, okay? When you die in this map, it's very hard to get motivated to start up another game. Like, when I died just a few moments ago on round 6, I had to work with myself to build up the motivation to want to restart, because every time that you die, even just to get back up to where we just were at round 6, I mean, I cut a lot of it out, but that took me like almost a solid 12 minutes to get to. Thankfully, every single map after this one fixed that problem. Like in the next map, Verrückt, for example, like as soon as you spawn in, they don't have to take more than 20 steps before they're at your window, but in this map, oh my gosh, they're just slowly taking their time, walking a whole mile before they even approach the window from the tree line over there. Now, box, it would be really great if I could get, like, I don't know, a ray gun or something, just something to speed up the rounds a bit more, maybe. I'm not taking that. Also, just love the weapons in World of War. There's something about World War II weapons, I've always loved them. They're so clean and like so raw. There's just something about them. The way that they feel to shoot, their reloads, their sounds, it's just, I love them. The PPSH, the MP40, the MG42, like all those classic weapons, I just love them. And I've always been a fan of the FG42. I know there's probably not that many FG42 fans out there, but for some reason, every time that I used to play Der back in the day, I always grabbed the FG42. I always Pack-a-Punched it. I have no idea why. I love that gun. Fun fact about that gun for you guys, for those of you that don't know, that gun is actually an LMG. See, for the longest time, I thought it was like an SMG or an AR, but no, it's actually an LMG. I've always found the name of LMGs to be very misleading. Like, why are they light machine guns? Shouldn't they be like HMVs, like heavy machine guns? Maybe there's another reason for it, like the caliber of rounds that they shoot. Maybe, I really don't know. You know, normally I wouldn't take the scoped car, but I mean, hey, I'm in the mood to quick scope some zombies. I mean, we're playing a game from 2008, so it's only fitting that we get at least a couple of quick scopes in. Still just as satisfying as ever. Alright, mystery box. Now, if I could please get a ray gun, please. A trench gun. You know what? I'll take that. The trench gun is actually one of my favorite shotguns in zombies. Just listen to the sound of this thing. It's just... it's so clean. I love it. I don't even know what to say right now. Like, it's just, this is so satisfying. Even though shotguns are usually kind of frowned upon, like when it comes to older zombies games, like anything before BO3, people usually don't gravitate towards shotguns, but I absolutely love them. I've always found it so satisfying just having a shotgun, just like one big blast pumping it back. I love... Yes. Now, you just gotta be careful with this thing because, you know, the splash damage in World of War is pretty strong. Even if you have Jug, one hit from the splash damage will get you down. So, I definitely gotta watch myself now. But at this point, I truthfully see no reason to use any other weapon. I mean, it's the ray gun. It's funny how, like, revive me, bro. I have the ray gun kind of became a meme, but honestly, that was a genuine thing back in the day. Like, if you were playing with a kid that had the ray gun in World of War or Black Ops 1, not so much in Black Ops 2. I mean, it happened in some of the Black Ops 2 maps, maps like Transit where there really wasn't any other reliable wonder weapons. I can't tell you how many times I tried to play games of zombies with randoms, and one of them would be like an 8-year-old kid, and they'd just be sitting there screaming in my ear, "Please revive me, I have the ray gun, I can't lose this, man. I swear to God, you better revive me, bro. If you don't revive me, I'm gonna leave the game. This is my ray gun, I'm gonna tell my mom." Gaming and the Call of Duty community as a whole was just, it was different back then. It's one of those things where you honestly just had to be there. Between like 2007 and like, I don't know, maybe like 2013, if you were on Xbox Live and PSN, it was just, it truly was a different time than it is today. That's also why folks like me have really thick skin, because I played a lot of online games back in the day, like Halo and Call of Duty, Gears of War, like all the other shooters like that. So the things you were called, the things you were told, the things that were said to you, and just everything that you heard on those like games back in the day, let me tell you, that'll put some hair on your chest. It'll thicken your skin. None of us have ever truly been the same after hearing half the stuff that we did back then. Any other weapons? Please? I think I'm gonna go to round 10, then I'm probably gonna call it quits, since we already had like a game before this. I don't want to drag the video out and, you know, make it boring or anything like that for any of y'all. As much as I love the Black Ops 1 remaster of this map, and, you know, the Zombies Chronicle remaster of this map, and Black Ops 3, every time that I need a fix on one of these, like, older World of War maps, I always just end up coming back to this game and playing the original version of it. Like I said, I love Black Ops 3, I love the engine, and I love the remasters of the maps, but it's just, there's something about the original feel of this game, man. It is just, it's so nostalgic, it's so good. I miss when the ray gun was this powerful. I mean, sure, it's powerful again in Cold War, but for, like, a couple of games there, it truly kind of, like, lost its identity, and it didn't feel as impactful or as important as it did back in the day. But when it comes to, like, coming back to World of War, and playing a map like Nacht Der Untoten that truly just doesn't have any other better wonder weapons, it feels so good using the ray gun, man. I love this weapon. Anyway, like I said, we already did a game before this, and we're at round 10, and with how slow that this map moves, that's kind of like the equivalent of round 20 on any other map. That's what I'm gonna call it. Just gonna shoot myself with a ray gun. Now I definitely want to hear from you guys. Do you guys have any sort of nostalgia for World of War, or were you a little too young? Did you miss that era? Were you there for Black Ops 3 at least, maybe? Whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I definitely want to hear from you guys, and I definitely want to hear from you guys on if you'd actually want this to be like a full-on series where we go through and just like revisit all of the Zombies maps, because I would totally be down to do so. But anyway, as always, a shout out to the Patrons and channel members, comments, fake grandma, Liberty Tab, Big Daddy, Manny, Chulupasaurus, Rex, Razak, Polar, Ray, Webster, Lamas, Miakas, Purgatory, Jokistan, Mellow, Asking, Peter, Match, Miss, Intervention, 15, Clemens, Everyone, Aaron Reynolds, and Unknown. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.